I found this tool while my uncle was doing yard work. It's about 8 to 10 inches long. At the iron or steel end, with an overall height of roughly 3 feet, and weighing around 6 to 10 pounds. The metal appears to be iron and has noticeable weathering. Some have suggested it could be a hoe, rake, or possibly a debarking tool, but I'm not entirely sure. Any thoughts on what it might be? This tool is commonly known as a sling blade, especially in the southern U.S. It's great for cutting weeds and not so great for your shoulder joints. In Southwest Texas, it's sometimes called a tweet yo-yo. You swing it back and forth, almost like a wild golf swing, to chop down tall grass. 2 wooden blocks, each featuring circular wooden inserts. In one block, all inserts have the same circumference, but vary in height. In the other, all circumferences differ, while the heights remain identical. Dimensions, 17 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches. There are no markings or labels on either block, and the inserts are entirely made of wood. Any ideas on what they might be used for? It's a Montessori work. Usually there are 3, one with varied diameters and same depth, one with varied depth but same diameter, and one that varies both. I picked this up at an antique store where it was advertised as a sextant, but after some research, I'm not so sure. I initially thought it might unfold into a traditional sextant, but all the knobs seem to only make small adjustments, such as changing its height. I'm a bit hesitant to take it apart. It does have some magnification power, but the top piece is a level, not a mirror, which results in an inverted image when viewed through it. Additionally, it came with 2 small detached pieces, shown in the last picture. Could this just be an unusual type of telescope, or is it something else entirely? Any ideas? This is a dumpy level. A sextant is an instrument for determining the angle between the horizon. I spotted this object floating in North Charleston Bay, South Carolina. It was large, about 4 to 5 feet long and 3 to 4 feet wide, and appeared to be an old chest or possibly a door. The only markings on it were 2 lines across the top and a circle. It was too dark to capture a clearer picture, but the object definitely stood out. Any ideas on what it might be? It's a dock float, a buoyant structure used to keep docks afloat. Some are foam-filled, while others have an open bottom with an air fitting on top. For the open bottom type, you submerge them under the dock and use a compressor to blow out the water, creating buoyancy. My friend found this solid metal piece during a driven hunt in a German forest. The area is known for intense battles between German infantry and U.S. troops near the end of World War II. The object weighs about 2.54 pounds and stands 4 inches tall. Given the region's history, I suspect it might be a fragment of U.S. military equipment from World War II, but I'm unsure exactly what it is. Over the past 50-plus years, many artifacts have been found in this area. Does anyone recognize this piece? It's a spherical bearing housing. This type is usually used on the ends of hydraulic cylinders or tie rods or stabilizing rods. Based on the size, it would have to be from a pretty big piece of equipment. It's too generic to say offhand what it came from. Could be from a large piece of military equipment, farming equipment, or construction equipment. This item belongs to my dad, but neither he nor his friends can figure out its purpose. Could it be some kind of grinder? It stands about knee height and is made entirely of wood, including the removable inner part. I couldn't find any markings, numbers, or letters on it. Any ideas on what this might have been used for? It could be a fruit separator, possibly used for berries, to separate the seeds from the pulp. Since it's made entirely of wood, it's likely not designed for harder fruits. Regardless of its exact purpose, it's truly an exquisite piece of woodwork. This decorative ivory pot. Belonged to my wife's grandparents and is likely from the 20th century. It may have originated in Africa, as they lived in Kenya, Uganda, and Nigeria at different times. The pot stands about 4 inches tall, and my wife recalls that it may have once held ivory discs. The lid has small holes, which made me wonder if it could be a salt or pepper shaker. But something about that doesn't seem quite right. Any thoughts on what this might be? This appears to be a lidded incense burner, with the holes designed to release aromatic smoke. It's likely meant for cone or block incense, rather than sticks. Also, I'm not so sure it's ivory, but if it is, and would tell people it isn't, as even the possession of antique ivory is illegal in any nations that signed the accord on banning its trade in 2016, and it looks like it could be bone or celluloid. I have had these small metal pieces for many years. One is a pitcher, and the other is a cup, each about 3 inches in size. I believe I picked them up at a garage sale in Pennsylvania. A long time ago, I tried to Googling MBC Co., but nothing relevant came up. I've always just kept them on a shelf, and while it may sound odd to some, I use them to hold kitty whiskers, which feels special to me. That said, I'm really curious. Does anyone know what these were originally used for? It looks like a communion set, and I believe the marking reads MB Co. My best guess is that the B stands for brass, and it was likely made in the US. The abbreviation style suggests it's probably an antique. I found references to 2 brass manufacturers, Muller Brass Company and Manhattan Brass Company, though neither company's website features these exact pieces. However, that doesn't mean they weren't produced by them in the past. Regardless of their origin, I think they're beautiful. I found this piece at a yard sale. It resembles a vase, but the unusually small hole at the top makes it a bit puzzling. The item is a single solid piece, meaning there's no other way to access the interior except through that tiny opening. It stands about 8 inches tall and feels like ceramic with a matte finish. The only marking is a single 0 on the bottom. The seller mentioned it belonged to her grandmother and was originally from Hawaii, though there's no clear connection between the item and the location. I bought it thinking it might be a single flower vase, which is how I plan to use it. However, I haven't found any similar designs online. Any thoughts on what this might actually be?